Hey everyone, welcome to From the Depths. I'm Menti, and this is episode 94 of the Battleship Brawl Season 5 tournament. This episode we've got the Puget Sound continuing on against the New Hampshire by FTD. Let's go ahead and get the camera into position. And away we go. New Hampshire immediately firing a volley of crams. Well, a single turret's worth of crams anyway. Let's see if those manage to land anything. Nope. Follow-up shots are going to connect. Oh, that rear turret taking a couple of hits in the barbette, but the barbette held. It wasn't so much in the barbette as it was the deck behind the barbette. Whatever the case, the guns are still functional. So far, very close HP-wise. Ooh, those secondary APS guns up here, yeah, they just got blown apart. The bow of the Puget Sound taking some serious damage there. But there's not really anything critical in that area, so some barrels get knocked off the Puget Sound's guns there. But again, the barbell holding well enough to keep the guns intact, other than, the barrel damage. New Hampshire has some nasty holes in the side of her as well. Oh wow, those shells from the Puget Sound are getting in there deep. They're basically detonating on the center line of the New Hampshire. Those fuses, basically perfect against this ship. But so far the New Hampshire's guns have been holding out just fine. Oh, the Puget Sound very low in the water here. Almost the entirety of the deck under the water. Its frontal turrets are disabled. Its rearmost turret is disabled. All we've got left is this gun right here. And it's got a shell coming for it. And another. But again, that barbette armor is holding just fine. It's the buoyancy of the Puget Sound that isn't doing so well. Oh, the Puget Sound was gaining DQ time from sinking, but its health wasn't below 80% yet, so it wasn't getting the 80% sinking despawn. But it is getting it now, and that... Whoop, hold on. I did it a little bit too soon. There we go. That is the end of round one. 96.3 for the New Hampshire. Alright, let's go ahead and get this restarted. We'll get into round two. New Hampshire quite handily sinking the Puget Sound in round one. It started out pretty even, but then the Puget Sound started losing guns, and its buoyancy, its ability to stay buoyant is not as good as the New Hampshire, so down it went. So far, the Puget Sound has fallen behind in HP, or it did, but then all of a sudden the HP evened up a bit. It's within 2% of each other. Oh, but then the counter battery from the New Hampshire widens that gap back out. The Puget Sound avoiding some damage there by shells bouncing over the hull and missing the bow. And let's be honest, those shells that are striking the bow aren't really hitting anything critical. Though it is reducing the buoyancy of the Puget Sound, which sinking has proven to be a very effective method of killing this ship. Check out the New Hampshire here. That turret took a direct hit to the top of it and didn't really care. Hampshire took a bit of a bow strike here, and oh, the bow is almost ready to fall off. While there's not anything critical up there, I'm sure, that would be a lot of HP lost if these beams in here were to break and the bow were to just, you know, fall off. There's a lot of HP lost and a lot of materials that would need to be spent to repair it. Materials that New Hampshire doesn't have. It's down to 3,000 materials at this point, but Puget Sound is 80% in sinking. Oh, it managed to reset the timer, but there goes the timer again. Ticking on down. Yep, she's that's definitely sinking. She's completely under the water, except for like the tips of some towers and stuff. Alright, so that's the end of round 2 with a 91%. Seemed like that one went faster, and yet the New Hampshire scored worse. Just, that's an interesting combination of facts there. I won more quickly, but did so worse. It's like, how does that work? Anyway, here we go for round 3, getting this started up. In come the shells. New Hampshire's initial volley missing. Oh, and the Puget Sound turns right into that second follow-up volley. Takes a hit to the side, but honestly, not all that much damage. From the initial volley, anyway. There seems to be a lot of blocks falling off from the next one after that. Oh yeah, some holes blown in the deck, some damage to these barrels. Oh no, this forward gun here seems to be disabled. It is no longer aiming. Let's go check on the New Hampshire. HP values within like 5% of each other, pretty much. New Hampshire has some serious repairs on it. It is quite quick to bring back destroyed blocks. But it also burns through its materials pretty quick. But if it wasn't for those repairs, I think things would be a lot closer between the New Hampshire and the Puget Sound. Or if the Puget Sound had better repairs. Puget Sound's not a bad ship. It likes to sink a little bit too easily, its guns are a bit fragile. Not overly so, but they do die pretty regularly. And it has a lot of spare materials without really the repair bots to utilize it. I would say those are its biggest flaws. If those were corrected, this would be a pretty good ship. Personally, what I would probably do is instead of making it, you know, a sloped V-shape hull, or maybe make it either just a straight hull, or have less sloping. Because then you'd have more space and therefore more, you know, air, and you can compartmentalize that to have more compartments and be less prone to, well, this 80% sinking despawn. Alright, and there we go. That is the end of round 3 with a 93.5. So that first round was the best round for the New Hampshire. So that's a pretty dominant victory for the New Hampshire. Puget Sound was pretty handily crushed. But thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the battlefield.